Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the Demolition League. And we are in Kansas City. This will be the eighth game for both of these teams. It would normally be game 40 because all teams would have played 8 games, but I did play that one game out of order where the Yankees and Dodgers have already played their ninth game. So that means we're on game 41 instead of game 40 where we should be. That was just my bad playing that out of order. All right, so starting pitchers for today's game. Yusei Kikuchi, a left-hander for Toronto. He was 9-10 with a 4.05 ERA and 32 starts. And for Kansas City, right-hander Michael Wacha, 13-8 with a 3.35 ERA and 29 starts. Those are the real 2024 numbers. As you can see, the score sheet is blank. That's because we don't know the lineups yet. I'm going to do the rest rolls. Most times I do these offline. I don't do them on the stream, but I figured I haven't done one in a while, so for those that are new or whatever that may want to see what's going on about the rest rolls, we go right to the back of the Super Advanced Fielding for Pitchers and Catchers, and that's called Super Advanced Miscellaneous Charts. We come over to the Super Advanced Miscellaneous Charts, and we're looking right here at solitaire starting lineup usage, the bottom right-hand corner. Roll 1d6, and that gives us 3 positions that we check for to see if they need to rest or not. And that just kind of keeps the playing time not so heavy where one guy's getting overused or whatnot. And I do have the score sheet from the previous game, the first game of the series. Kansas City beat Toronto 8-2. So I've got the guys there. So when positions are referenced, we can see for ourselves who needs to be checked for rest. Start with the visiting team. That's the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll roll the 1d6. And that's a 1. So center field, third base, and DH need to be checked for rest. Center field, third base. So center field is Kiermaier. Third base is Clement. And the DH was Turner. I have a feeling all 3 of those guys might need to rest because I don't think any of those guys had a whole lot of at-bats. And that's what the rest roll says. If you have 375 or less plate appearances, you always have to rest. So first one we're checking is Turner. Look at Justin Turner. He had 460 at bats plus 59 walks for a total of 519. So if we look on our chart under 519, that falls right here. So 1 to 8, he will need to rest. If he rolls a 9 or higher, he does not have to rest. That's a 19, so Turner does not have to rest. He can play in this game or can start in this game. All right, that takes care of the DH. Let's look at the third baseman, Clement. He is the next one on the list that may need to be rested. Ernie Clement. He's got 445 total plate appearances. 445. So we come over here to 445. Falls into 1 to 15. Roll a 1 to 15. He's got to rest. That's a 20, so he avoids rest as well. Boy, they're getting some good rolls here. And then the final one is going to be Kiermaier, and I got a funny feeling Kiermaier is not going to meet the minimum requirements. He does not. He's only got 210 plate appearances. So that means for Toronto, Kiermaier will have to rest. So that'll tell us that we can't use Kiermaier in the starting lineup when we make our starting lineups. Hello, Mr. Jeffrey. How are you? Glad that I could try to bring a little sunshine on this Monday night for you. All right, that's Toronto. Now we'll go to Kansas City. Same deal. Just go through this rinse and repeat. Same process. Roll the D6. We get a 2. All right, this time we're checking shortstop, right field, and first base. So go back to the previous game. Shortstop is Bobby Witt. Right field is Hunter Renfroe. And the first baseman is Pasquantino. All right, so we're going to check those 3 guys and see if they meet the requirements or whether they have to be rested. So we go to Bobby Witt first of all. He's got almost 700 plate appearances, so he does not need to rest. Hunter Renfroe, he is probably going to have to rest. He's got 385 plus 36 walks. That's a total of 421. 431. No, I was right the first time, 421. All right, so 421. 421 right here. 1 to 18, he's got to rest. So 17, he does have to rest. So Hunter Renfroe will have to rest. Now we're checking Pasquantino. He's the last one that needs to be checked. Vinny Pasquantino. He's got 496 at bats plus 40 years. So that's a total of 536. So that's a 1 to 6. A 1 to 6, he's got to rest. 7 or higher, he's not affected. That's 12, he's not affected. So the only one that has to rest for Kansas City is Hunter Renfroe. So for Kansas City, we got Hunter Renfroe. So those are the two guys that have to rest. And we look at the pitching from the previous game. Nick Anderson for Kansas City pitched 2 innings. So he's not unavailable, but I'm going to put him last in line. I've got a whole lot of pitching in the bullpen, so it would make sense to rest Nick Anderson, if at all possible. Hello, Dr. D. All right, so first things first, we will go to the Toronto lineup and make up their lineup. And as we said, Kevin Kiermaier has to rest, so he is unavailable. The other two managed to avoid that fate, so they are available. And we'll look and see. Let me look at the previous game. Look at the previous game lineup and see how they want to play this. They didn't do so well in the previous game. They lost 8-2. So they might want to, kind of mix up this lineup a little bit. I think we'll drop Turner down in the lineup because he didn't do so well. Might move Varsho up. We'll have to wait and see. So typically, George Springer is the leadoff hitter. He was in real world most of the time. 303 on-base percentage, not the greatest. But I don't think they have a whole lot of other guys that have better on-base percentages that I can see. Kevin Biggio does, but his batting average is worse, but his on-base percentage is better because he walks. Kevin Biggio drew 24 walks. Let's see about Kiner-Falefa. 338, that's actually a better. We're going to go with the leadoff man of Isaiah Kiner-Falefa because he had a 338 on-base percentage. He gets on base. Question is, where do you play him? You can play him at second, third, or short. So I'm going to write him in, but I'm not going to assign him a position yet because I don't know exactly where I want to put him. So I know he's going to be in the game hitting leadoff, but I don't know where he's going to play yet. So that's still up in the air. We'll go ahead and have Springer hit second. And Springer is in right field, where he is a 3 -1 E3. And I realize this may be boring for some of you, but I'm trying to show for this demolition type league how I go about making my lineups, going through the rest rolls and all that sort of stuff. So it may seem like it's, slowing things down. If you're watching this after the fact, you want to fast forward, through the video, be my guest. We're going to have Dalton Varsho. He's going to hit third and play center field because Kiermaier, who usually plays center, is not available. So Varsho, who plays left a lot of times, will now move to center. So Gary Varsho, he's still a 1 in center field, so he's still good to go there. 1 -3 and an E3, so very good for him. And he runs at a 15. I forgot to mention that Springer, where did he go? Just had his card a second ago. I don't remember what I did with it. Put stuff all over the place, and now I can't remember where I put him. He's got to be here somewhere. He's on the table. He didn't go on the floor, so he's got to be somewhere. That's really strange. Oh, he's upside. It's under here. Okay. He's a 14. Okay. Kiner-Falefa runs at a 14 as well. Okay. Batting cleanup is going to be Vladimir Guerrero, first baseman. And he's a 3E14. And he runs at a 10. All right. So now we're going to figure out where else to go from here. We'll go ahead and use Justin Turner. He had 259 with 11 home runs. So we'll go ahead and use Justin Turner as your DH. And he runs at a 9. Alrighty, now we need some more guys that can step up and bat. We will go with We'll go with Bo Bichette at shortstop. 4E14 with the 12. And after him, we will go with catcher Alejandro Kirk. And he is a 2-2, E9 with a T rating of 3, pass ball rating of 4, and he runs at an 8. All right, and that leaves, so we need a left fielder, and the left fielder is going to be, it's going to be Davis Snyder. So Snyder is in left field, where he's a 3-0-E4 with a 12. So now we're needing a second baseman and a third baseman. Kind of for left field, we're going to put at third base because he doesn't do too poorly at third base, I don't believe. Yeah, 2E5, that's pretty good. So we put him at third base as a 2E5 and let Kevin Biggio play second base, bat ninth, where he is a 3E14 and he runs at a 14. So there you go. That's the starting lineup for Toronto. I know it's a little bit tedious. Bear with me. We're getting there. So the bench for Toronto, we got they're playing one short due to an injury. They have Danny Jansen, the backup catcher, Vogelbach, who can pinch it, Clement can play everywhere, and Kiermaier in center. But Kiermaier cannot enter the game until the 7th inning because he needs to rest. All right, so that finishes that out. And of course, we got our bullpen we need to bring in. Get their bullpen guys all set. And that takes care of Toronto. Now we need to work on Kansas City. Now, Toronto is starting a left-handed pitcher, so we're going to lean towards some right-handed hitters for Kansas City, if at all possible. If there's a question mark, we kind of lean toward the right-handers just to play the percentages. So we know Renfroe has to be rested, so they cannot use Renfroe, and they would like to have used him against a lefty, but he's got to rest, do the rest rolls. So he's not going to be available, but everybody else is. So we're going to see what we have here. And it looks like they're going to go with, who they want to lead off with? Probably Darian Blanco. Yeah, they're going to lead off with Darian Blanco. And do we play him in center? No, we're going to play him in left field, I believe. Or is it, we're going to play him in right field. No, we'll play him in right field. He's going to play right field. Blanco play right, where he's a 3-1 E13, running at a 17. So very fast runner. Batting second, we will have Bobby Witt, the shortstop. He's a 1E16, and he runs at a 17. Hello, Philip, Ernest, Chuck, Midlife. Good evening to all of you. Bear with me. We're making the lineups up for Toronto. That's part of the process that I want to not pass over without showing it, relatively decently. We're going to have kind of the darling of the team in this league, Vinny Pasquantino. He avoided a rest roll, so he will bat third and play first base, where he's a 4E3 and runs at a 9. Salvador Perez, the catcher, will bat cleanup, and Perez is a T rating of 13. He's got a T13, pretty high number there. Pass ball rating is a 0. And he is a 3-2 E1, running at an 8. All right. Remember, Toronto's using a lefty, so we're trying to. Pasquantino is a lefty, but I'm going to try to use as many righties as I possibly can, if it makes sense. So we're going to go to. We are going to give Garrett Hampson a chance Doesn't play much, but he's a right-hander, and 54% of his at-bats came against lefty pitching. So I'm trying to simulate that as best I can. Now, which position is he going to play? Is he going to play third base, second base? Where do we want to play him? We are going to play him. Boy, we're going to play him at second base, where he is a 3E15. And he runs at a 17. All right. Next up is Michael Garcia. He will play third base. And he is a 1E16, running at a 16. Then we need, let's see, I know he's a lefty, but we're going to have Isbell bat ninth and play center because he's a 1, and I like having a 1 in center field. Let's see who else do we got. Problem is most of the other players are left-handed, but we're going to use Yuli Gurriel as the DH. He only had 54 bats in 2024, hit 241, but he's got to play sometimes, so this is a good time as any to get him his bats. And he's a 10. It's DH. All right, so we know Isbell's going to bat ninth and play center field, whereas a 1 minus 1 E5 with the 15. So what position do we have left? We have left field. So in left field, they will go to another left-hander because that's pretty much all they've got. Since they don't have Renfroe, you're losing that right-handed bat. So they're going to use N.J. Melendez in left field. He's a 4 minus 1 E3, running at a 13. So there you go. There's your lineups, or there are your lineups. And on the bench for all these teams, we have Hunter Renfroe, but he can't come in until the 7th. Also have Nick Lofton, Adam Frazier, Michael Massey, and backup catcher Freddie Fermin. Those are the bench players available for Kansas City. Kansas City won the first game of the series 8-2. Toronto's looking to even that series, but we shall see what happens. Nick Anderson pitched 2 innings in the first game, so he's going to be at the back of the bullpen. Not totally unavailable, but he's going to be the last guy I go to. And that'll do it for Kansas City, and we'll get this game motoring. Now that we know the catchers are, I can do the pitcher-catcher hole quotients for both the pitchers. Kirk's a -2. Kikuchi is a -3, so that's a -5 for Kikuchi in Toronto. Michael Wacha is a -1. Perez is a -2, so that's a -3. So there you go. I'll write down the balks and wild pitches because they're right here on the card. So if I have to reference it, it'll be right there. Hey, Dan, good to see you. All right, so last thing is the pitcher injury check for both pitchers. We look at the chart for Toronto, Kikuchi. Let's see here, Kikuchi, where are you? Well, Kikuchi actually got to Houston later in the season. So we look under Houston for Kikuchi, and he's a 0, and he cannot be injured. So Kikuchi has no worries of being injured. Look under Kansas City for Michael Wacha. He's got a 1, so 612 is the injury chance for Michael Wacha, 612. All right, ballpark effects for Kansas City's Royal Stadium, or whatever they call Kauffman Stadium, whatever it's called. Singles 1-16 for lefties, 1-19 for righties. Home runs 1-4 for lefties, 1-7 for right-handers. And now that I don't have to write the lineups anymore, I can straighten things out and get ourselves underway. Michael Wacha will be taking his warm-up tosses. And we will be ready to get this game going. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is going to be leading things off for the Blue Jays. And I've got the Strat computer up. I don't have the game up to score it. I'll score it after the fact. But I do have it up to get stats for you. So first things first, let's look at Wacha. See what he did on his first. This is his second start. So we'll see how he did on his second start. Both teams come to the game 4-3. So Wacha this thing to come up here. There we go. Waka is, where are you, Waka? He's 0-0 with a 4.50 ERA. He's had one start, went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. For Toronto, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa leads it off. He's hitting 143, 3 out of 21. No homers and a run driven in, and we're finally underway. 4-9, right-handed, and that's a 1-10 single. That's a 14, though, so that's a line out to second base, and that's 1 away. Whoops, I'm sitting there. Just out of habit, I went to hit the keyboard to score the game, like just out of habit. Just do it sometimes. Can't help it. All right. One thing I got to do though is it's pretty. It was near 8. It was about 81 degrees today. So I'm upstairs, and it had been cool, so I had not been running the ceiling fan, but I think I'm going to need a little bit of air circulation here, so I went and turned the ceiling fan on just to get a little flow there because I was getting a little stuffy. All right, here's George Springer, and it's amazing just what a ceiling fan will do. All right, Springer is, where are you, Springer? George Springer is hitting 222. He's 6 out of 27, a homer and 2 driven in. And that's a 6-4, and it's a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Witt. He's a 1E16. We know the 1 is going to get to it. For a shortstop, E16 for a shortstop. His only error is 14 and 17. That's the 2 numbers to avoid. And he does. So Bobby Witt makes the play for 2 down. And that'll bring up Dalton Varsho. Varsho playing center field for Kiermaier had to rest. Varsho is hitting 308 on the replay. 8 homers, 26 driven in. No homers, 6 runs batted in. That's a 2-6, and he's going to strike out. First strikeout of the game for Mr. Waka. And that'll do it. Michael Waka and the Chocolate Factory, maybe if you want to give him a name. So we go to the bottom of the first. No score. And I guess it's pronounced you say. I guess it's you. I say you say. Maybe you say. I say you say. You say whatever you want to say, but I say it's you say. So it's you say Kikuchi according to what I say, but you can say whatever you want to say. All right, say that 5 times fast. All right, so Kikuchi is 1-0 in his only start, went 7 innings, gave up no runs, a ERA of 0, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 10 strikeouts. He was dominant in his first outing of the season. And we'll see how he handles it here against Dayron Blanco. Dayron Blanco for Kansas City. And Blanco on the replay is hitting 250. He's 3 out of 12. No homers or runs batted in. That's a 3-7 against the lefty, and that's a strikeout. So no matter how you say it, he strikes out. 1 down for Bobby Witt. Hello, Action. Good to see you. And Dan, if I didn't say hello to you, hello to you. All right, here's Bobby Witt Jr. He's hitting 444 on the replay, 12 for 27. No homers, 3 driven in. That's a 6-7 against the right-hander. That's a fly ball to right field. 6-8 would have been, and 6-9 would have been trouble, but 6-7, he's just fine. That's out number 2. And that'll bring up Vinny Pasquantino. Vinny is hitting 300. He's 6 out of 20. A homer and 5 driven in. Lefty on lefty, 310. That's a pop up to short. And Kikuchi puts Kansas City down in order, 1, 2, 3. So we go to the second inning. And something else I've been thinking about, too, with this Demolition League for next time, I may or may not do the 25 season. I may decide to do a retro version of the Demolition League, maybe take it back to, say, 2011, 2013, something like that. I don't want to go too far back because you need extra players. And if you go back to the 90s too much, the rosters, there aren't that many players that play, and I want to have lots and lots of minor leaguers. So I'm thinking maybe 2011, 2013, or if I did something in the 90s, maybe 1990. All right, just some thoughts. I'm not beholden to just the 2025 season, because if I do that, then I got to buy the cards from Strat, buy the computer game from Strat, pay all that ungodly shipping. I've got all these Strat sets sitting here on my shelf that haven't been used, and I feel like I ought to use them. So I'm definitely thinking about going more retro for the Demolition League next year, which means I'm not as crunched to finish this by the time the 25 cards come out, because if I don't do 25, then it's no big rush. And I thought maybe splitting it up, because you'll see the same players. Mike's better see different players from the 90s. So I'm definitely thinking about that. All right, so Vladimir Guerrero Jr., to be precise, is going to be up to the plate. And Guerrero, a little struggling early on, 3 out of 24 for a 125 average. No homers and a run driven in. That's a 3.9, and he's going to draw a base on balls. So leadoff walk issued to Guerrero. He's no threat to run. And that'll bring up DH Justin Turner. He avoided the rest roll by getting a good number on the D20. So Turner hitting 273 on the replay, 6 for 22, a homer and 4 driven in. First havoc roll, nothing happening. 210, and that's another walk. So back-to-back walks by Waka. And that's going to put first and second. Nobody out for Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette, the shortstop. But again, this would be a good time to bunt, but he's a deep bunter, so I just can't do it. So Bichette is hitting 381 on the replay, 8 out of 21, a homer and 4 driven in. So maybe don't bunt when you got a guy like that either. So hello, Mr. Larry, and hello, Mr. Little. Good to see you. Good to see both of you. All right. And Dave, Mr. Little, I keep watching your Strat video, your answer to IDJ, and I keep watching his reply back and forth just to get some entertainment value. They both were done very well. Both made excellent points for both sides of the house. So I don't know if you saw my good, bad, and ugly video I did myself on Stratomatic, but it was mostly positive. All right, so Bichette. That's a 6-7. That's ground ball second base X. We are looking at Biggio. I'm sorry, not Biggio. We're looking at Hampson, 3E15. Trying to turn a double play. 3 and a 15. 3. I mean, we got a rare play, so I get to do my and the devil die shows up as a 3. Go figure. So a 3 and a 3 is going to get through for a hit. That's going to be a single, SI1. It's going to load the bases, but we need to check on the rare play. And of course, I have my beta version of rare play that I made that we will go to in this league. Not going to do it in the 87 league, but I'll use this. Well, I will do it in the 87 league too. Take that back. All right, so we go to the S1 factor. It says with runner on first base, batter hits a line drive that hits the runner, and the runner is out. Batter is awarded first base with a single. All other runners hold. So how about that? So Bichette singles, but it hits Turner. So Turner is going to be out. And Turner is out 3 unassisted because the first baseman is closest to him. And all other runners have to hold. So Bichette is awarded first base, but Guerrero has to go back to second. It's a dead ball when that happens. So Guerrero goes back to second base. He cannot advance. That's out number 1 as the ball hit Turner. And with 1 away. Oh, what's a Demolition League, Dave Little, you ask? All right, if you remember Tenacious Earl, or if you saw any Tenacious Earl, he did a Tenacious Strat League where he took 10 teams and played 54-game schedule. I'm doing that here. The idea I give all to him. He gets all the credit for it, but I wanted to make it my own and not call it a Tenacious League, obviously. So since my name is Demos, I went ahead and went with something with demo in it, and that's where Demolition comes from. So that's where it came from. If you want to know about the genesis of that, that's what it is. And unlike your 2005 or 2004 St. Louis Cardinals season cards, none of these cards have asshole written on them. So we're free from that. So, all right, here's Alejandro Kirk. He's hitting 167 on the replay, 2 out of 12, a homer and 4 driven in. All these teams have played 8 games, except this is game number 8 for these two teams. The other teams have all played 8 games, and the Yankees and Dodgers have actually played 9 games. So this is game 41 out of 270. All right, here's Kirk. First and second, 1 out. And we'll do the havoc roll, obviously. Hop and dice, so we're going to re-roll that. And we got 1-9, and that is a ground ball shortstop A. That's a 6-4-3 double play. I'm telling you, I still think that a tailor shop somewhere should sponsor this and have the tailor-made double play of the game. But there's got to be a sponsorship out there somewhere waiting to be found if someone can jump on it. But all right, here is Kikuchi. And also maybe Mr. Little maybe think of when you were going over the cards, as particularly the Pujols card, you were saying, what's the likelihood that a fly ball by Pujols will bring home the runs to sacrifice fly? What's the likelihood he would hit into a double play? There's also a fly ball A on certain cards. Not every card has it, but some cards have fly ball A's where there's certain players that hit the ball so deep that the runners can move up even from first base. So I had that this morning. I had a fly ball A where the runner went from first to second. So Strat is getting to that kind of detail when other games, it's just a fly out. You would never see that. So. All right, so Salvador Perez will lead off for Kansas City here in the bottom of the second. But if you have not seen my Stratomatic Good, Bad, and Ugly video, it's worth a look, because I go through the good, bad, and ugly of the cards and dice and the computer game. All right, so Salvador Perez is going to lead things off, and he is hitting 240 on the replay, 6 out of 25, a homer and 5 driven in. Against the lefty Kikuchi, 6'8", and that's trouble for Kikuchi. 1-4 is a double. That's a 13. So it's a leadoff single for Salvador Perez. He's no threat to run. He had no stolen base attempts at all in 2024. So he will hold. All right, so here's Garrett Hampson, and he's going to get limited. This is his second game. He's 0 for 3. In his one game he played already, he's 0 for 3. So he's seeking his first hit. Got a good column 2 against lefties. But he found a 6'9", which is still good off of Kikuchi. Kikuchi 6'8", 6'9" are trouble spots. That's a 4, so that would be a home run, but he has weak power against lefties and righties, so it's just going to be a single. But it will be 2 stars worth, so Perez will take third. But it would have been a home run, but he has weak power. So now Kansas City with runners at the corners and nobody out. Well, midlife, it's not an exchange between the two on the same video. They did. ID Jester did the fall of Stratomatic, and then Dave did a rebuttal to that, and then ID came back with a part 2. It's called the rise and fall of a game company. If you just do rise, if you search YouTube under rise and fall Stratomatic, it'll come up with ID Jester. And if you want to find Dave Little's thing, just go to his channel and you'll see it right there too. All right, so here's Michael Garcia. Garcia on the replay is hitting 323, 10 for 31, a homer and 4 driven in. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Toronto will play back for a double play. They need outs. They'll give up the run. 6-6, and that's going to be a strikeout for Kikuchi, and it couldn't come at a better time, his second strikeout. And that'll bring up Yuli Gurriel. And Gurriel, very limited duty for Gurriel. In fact, this is his first at-bat of the season. That's how limited it is. We only had 54 at-bats all year. And I try to do 1/3 because we're doing 1/3 of a season. So you're looking at 15 to 20 at-bats tops. So this is his first at-bat of the season. He hit 241 real world. So double play will get the Blue Jays out of the inning. That's a 3-8, but that's a walk. So Gurriel draws the walk, and it will load the bases with only one out for not Isbell, from Melendez. They were out of order there. Melendez. MJ Melendez. Yes, he did midlife, and it was very well done. It was not a rant by any means. It was not argumentative. It was just his way of saying, ID, I hear what you're saying, but this is why things are the way they are. And that's kind of what that response was. It was not anything. It wasn't him against ID. It wasn't a one-on. It wasn't him Dave versus ID. It was just exchange of ideas. It wasn't like a debate or anything like that. All right, so Melendez is hitting 222, 6 out of 27, but 3 of those 6 hits have been home runs. He's got 3 homers, 6 driven in, and he gets to bat with the bases loaded and 1 out. Kikuchi has to be careful. That's a 6-3, and that's a ground ball. Pitcher X. He's a 3-E-0. Well, we know he's not going to make an error. We're just looking at the 3, and we're looking at the G1 because that's going to determine if he gets a double play or not. That G1. So we go to the pitcher X chart. Pitcher X chart. And we're looking for G1s. And so he is a 3. So pitcher X chart, a 3. To get a G1, he would need a 17 through a 20 on the D20. That's a 9. So that's a G3. G3, but the pitcher is assumed to be in, so it's going to be in on a G3 with the bases loaded. So we go to this chart here, G3. Where'd it go here? G3, bases loaded, infield in. We get the leader. So the only play is to home plate, where they get Perez out to plate 1-2 on a fielder's choice. Hampson takes third. Gurriel takes second, and Melendez is safe at first, but no run scores. There are now 2 outs, bases loaded. Hello, RJL. Good to see you. And Kyle Isbell is going to get the bat. Bases loaded, 2 outs in a clutch situation. And Isbell is hitting 235, 4 out of 17, a homer and 2 driven in. Bases loaded, 2 outs, no score, bottom of the second. 4-5, lefty on lefty, and Kikuchi just walked a run in. His second walk of the inning and the game produces a force-in run. Hampson will score it to make it 1-0. Bases still loaded, and we're back to the top of the order for Dairon Blanco. Don't forget, tomorrow night will be Game 1 of the 1978 World Series on Season Ticket Baseball. Yankees and the Dodgers. Game 1. Blanco, 6-8, and that's bad for Kikuchi. 1-4 is a double. That's a 20. It's a single, but it's 2 stars. So Blanco with a base hit will score 2 runs. Gurriel and Melendez both coming to score. And it is now 3-0 Kansas City. Going to third is Kyle Isbell. So runners are at the corners now. 3 runs are in against Kikuchi. He's not nearly having the success he did in the first game. And now Blanco has a chance to get the lead. However, Kikuchi is a -5 hold. So if he got the lead, it'd be a 1-12. And the way I've had luck not stealing bases very well lately, I'm going to hold him there. So, all right, here is Bobby Witt. We get a 6-4, and that's a ground ball third base X. That's going to be the third baseman. Where's my, kind of Falefa. He's a 2E5. That's an 8. He'll get to that. 2 and an 8. He'll get to it. 2 and an 8 is a G2. And at third base, he was an E5, and that's a 9. Shouldn't be a problem there. It is not. So good play to end the inning, but 3 runs come in for Kansas City. I'm sorry, for Kansas City. They take a 3-0 lead. We go to the top of the third. Michael Waka back on the mound with the lead. He'll be facing Davis Schneider for the Blue Jays. Snyder on the replay. limited duty. He's hitting 0. He's 0 for 6 on the replay. Looking for his first hit. That's a 5-5. He won't get it. He will strike out. That is strikeout number 2 for Waka. That brings up Kevin Biggio. Biggio on the replay hitting 133. 2 out of 15. No homers or runs driven in. 3-4, and that's a strikeout. So back-to-back Ks from Waka. And that flips it over to the top of the order in Kaina Falefa. 4-7, and that's going to be a strikeout for Waka. He strikes out the side. So Michael Waka, like an Egyptian, went 1, 2, 3 there, striking out the side. And we go to the bottom of the third, and here's Vinny Pasquantino, the only man not to bat in the bottom of the second. 2-7 for Pasquantino as a ground ball to short. 1 away. Would have been a hit in the clutch situation, though. Here's Salvador Perez. 4-10, and that's a ballpark single check. First ballpark check of the game. It's a ballpark single check. Right-handers 1 to 19. It's pretty much automatic. It's a 6, so base hit for Perez. He's 2 for 2. And that'll bring up Garrett Hampson. Hampson singled and scored his first time up. 3-2, and that's a fly to left field. Would have been a hit again in the clutch, but we're not at 2 outs, and nobody's on second base, or third. So it's just a fly out. 2 down for Michael Garcia. Third baseman struck out his first chance. 4-6, and he will strike out again. Third strikeout for Kikuchi. Down go to Kansas City, and at the end of 3, it's still 3-0 Royals. George Springer will lead things off for Toronto. It's a 1-5, and that's going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 5 for Waka. 4 in a row going back to last inning. He is definitely Waka like an Egyptian right now. Here's Varsho. 6-7. And that's going to be a ground ball second base X. That'll be the second baseman Hampson. 3-15. 3-2. That's bad. That's going to be a base hit. It's a single. That's a 12. And he is a E15. There is the 14-17, but no 12 there. So base hit for Varsho as he sneaks it past Mr. Hampson. And now Varsho may be looking to run. Waka, though, it's a -3 hold when you combine with the catchers. Perez, that would be a minus. Be a 1 to 14. We'll give it a shot. He needs a 6. Probably not going to happen anyway. And it does not. So he will hold. And that'll bring up Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 3-8 for Vladdy. And that's a ground ball second base C. That'll get the runner to second. But now there are 2 outs, which means it's a clutch situation for Justin Turner. And the clutch, he is going to lose a hit on 3-3. Everywhere else, he's neutral. But 3-3, he will lose that hit. It's a 2-5, though, and he's going to walk. That will keep the inning going. It's runners at first and second, 2 outs for Bo Bichette. He is the tying run at the plate in Mr. Bichette. 3-5, and he strikes out. Strikeout number 6 for Waka. He is really rolling here. 4 innings of shutout ball. And Royals still lead at 3-0 going to the bottom of the 4th. Yuli Gurriel, who walked his first time up, is stepping to the plate. 5-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. And we are looking at the center fielder, Varsho. He's a 1E3, so with a 1, you know he's going to get to it. We're just looking at E3 right now for center fielders. And that's 3, 18, and 16. Those are the only 3 numbers he has to avoid. And he does that quite nicely. So Gurriel is out of there. Here's MJ Melendez, left fielder. It's a 3-2 lefty on lefty, and that's a split. 1 to 7 is a single. That's a 13, so he lines it to second. And Biggio is there for 2 down. Here's Kyle Isbell. 6-7, lefty on lefties, a fly to center, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Kikuchi. And we go to the 5th. Still 3-0. Both pitchers have 6 for fatigue, so they're good for at least 2 more innings. Alejandro Kirk, the batter. 6-10. Waka's injury chance is 6-12, so he's okay. 6-10. Fly to right. 1 down, and here's Davis Schneider. 1-12, and that's a low max to short, but nobody's on base, so it's just 1 out, not a double play or triple play. Just a liner to short. 2 down for Kevin Biggio. 5-7, lefty. Ground ball to second, and that will end it as Hampson throws him out. Another easy inning for Waka. And we go to the bottom of the 5th, still 3-0. All 3 runs in that second inning. And it's been goose eggs since. So bottom of the 5th, we are looking at Dayron Blanco. Dayron Blanco, whatever you want to call him. 6-11 for Kikuchi. It's a ground ball to short. 1 away. Kikuchi has no injury check. He cannot be injured. Here's Bobby Witt. 2-6, and he lines it to second. Biggio grabs that. 2 down. And Pasquantino, he's 0 for 2. Vinny, 2-8 for Vinny. He's going to get a single. 2-out single for Vinny, but he's not going anywhere. And that'll bring up Salvador Perez, the veteran catcher. He's 2 for 2. 2 singles. 5-9. And that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at the Toronto shortstop Bichette. He's a 4E14. That could be problems at 4. And with a 15 was a cooperative D20, so he should get to that. 4 and a 15 is a G2. That's a 14, and he is an E14. So 14 and 14. Nope, there's a 15, but not a 14. So Bichette will make the play, and the inning is over. So we've played 5 complete here in Kansas City. Still 3-0 favor the Royals. And this is the fatigue inning for both starting pitchers coming up right now. And Toronto will have the top of the order coming up. What does Lomax mean? Line out to as many outs. Oh, Ernest already answered that. Thank you. So that means you could get up to a triple play, possibly. Now, in basic, it's an automatic triple play. In super advanced, and I think even in advanced, it might just be super advanced. I'm not sure. You have to roll to see if it's a triple play or not. It's guaranteed double play, but it could ultimately be a triple play if you get a good roll. All right, here's kind of Falefa. That's a 5-4, and that is a catcher X. I call it Lomax because there was a catcher. It was a quarterback in the NFL for the Cardinals in the 80s called named Neil Lomax, and that's the first name I thought of when I see Lomax. When I see the Lomax, that's called Lomax. It's a Neil Lomax. All right, so 5-4 is a catcher X. That's Perez. He's a 3E1, so it shouldn't be any problems, especially with nobody on base. 3 and a 16. Probably some sort of a foul out or something. 3 and a 16 is a foul out. That is a 12, but he's only an E1, and you have to have a 17 to be an error. So it will be a foul out to Perez by Kiner Falefa, and there's 1 away. Here's George Springer. Ernest, I've never heard of them. Of course, I'm not that big in folk music, so the most thing I know about folk music is Peter, Paul, and Mary. All right, here is 2-8, and that's going to be a ground ball back to Waka. 2 down. Unless you want to call John Denver folk. I guess you could term that folk. I'm not sure. All right, here's Dalton Varsho, 5-10, and that's a walk. 2-out walk to Varsho. He's going to try to get the lead, see if he can get in scoring position with 2 outs, and needs a 6. And he gets the 6, so he will take the lead. 19 being held as a 17. Waka's a -3. That makes him a 14. So 1 to 14, he will steal second base. And he's in there. It's a possible throwing error on Perez. He's got a T13 rating. but it's a 15, so it's not going to get away from the second baseman, Hampson. He will secure it, not let the ball get past him. Varsho will stay at second. 2 down for Vladimir Guerrero now in a clutch situation. In the clutch, Guerrero loses a hit on 1-8 and on 3-12. Everywhere else he is neutral. So Waka facing Guerrero. 6-11. Again, 6-12 is the entry check. 6-11, he's fine. Fly ball right field X. Right field for Kansas City is Blanco. 3E13. A 3E13. 3 and a 13 should be just fine. Don't know about the E13, but the 313 should be fine. 3 and 13 is an F2. But we're looking at an E13, and this is totaling 14. That might be trouble. 13, but there's no 14. There's a 12, 15, and 17, but no 14. So Blanco will make the play and end the inning. And that is 6 shutout innings for Waka, so he will keep some endurance into next inning. He will pitch the 7th for sure. And Kikuchi back out for his fatigue inning. He'll be facing Hampson, Garcia, and Gurriel. 1-7, and that's a fly to center. So since that one outburst in the second inning, it's been goose eggs all along. Here's Garcia. He struck out twice. That's a 5-9. Ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at the shortstop Bichette. He's a 4E14. 4 and a 4. That could be trouble. 4 and a 4 is going to probably get by for a base hit. And it is. That's a 15, and he is an E14. E14, there's a 15 right here. So not only is it going to be a single, it's going to be an error on top of it on Bichette. So single plus an error will put Garcia at second base. Single plus the E6. So he's in scoring position with 1 out for Yuli Gurriel, the DH, former Astro. 2-8, and that's going to be a fly to right field, 2 down. 2 outs, and here's MJ Melendez. Nothing there. 5-4, lefty on lefty. That is a fly ball center field X. And center fielder for Toronto is Varsho. He's a 1. You know he's going to get to it. We're looking for an E3. And the only error on E3, we've already seen it. It is 3, 16, and 18. And that's not that. So there's no error. Be caught, and the inning's over. So Kikuchi pitches around the single and the error. He'll be back to pitch the 7th as well. We go to the top of the 7th. It's still 3-0. Favor of Kansas City. Those 3 runs have held up. Here is Justin Turner. 4-8, and that's a base on balls. And now the Kansas City bullpen might want to start getting loose. That is the 5th walk issued by Waka. Turner, we're in the 7th inning now, so we can make substitutions. And so Turner, I believe, is going to be pinch run for, because he is just not a good runner. He has no chance to steal, basically. He runs at a 9. He tried 2 times to steal, got caught twice. So he's not any threat here to run. So I believe we're going to look at Kiermaier, because Kiermaier can now come in the game since we're in the 7th inning. So Kiermaier is going to pinch run here in the top of the 7th for Turner. Kevin Kiermaier going to pinch run for Turner. Not sure if he wants to try to steal or not, but they're going to give him a shot, because if he makes the lead, he's got a 20 sitting right here. So he's going to try it. 1 to 6. And he gets the 6. How about that? That's twice in a row. Rolled a 6. Trying for the lead. So he's a 20. Being held makes him an 18. Minus 3 is a 15. So 1 to 15, and Kiermaier will steal second base. And he's in there with stolen base. So the brilliant managing to bring in a pinch runner that's able to steal a base comes through for Toronto. And now that brings up Bo Bichette. 1-5, and that is a strikeout plus injury, so it's a chance that Bichette will be injured. Got to go to our injury chart. Same place as the rest roll chart was. And we're looking under batters. Batter injuries. 1 to 4, he can stay in the game. 5 or 6, he just misses the rest of this game. 7 or higher, he could miss more time. That's a 20. Boy, that's terrible. That's a 60, but the maximum, let's see how many at-bats he has. He has 331 at-bats. So the max injury length is 30, but we're doing 1/3 of the league, so it's actually be 10 games. So Bichette will be injured for 10 games. He will go on the injured list. So he'll be out for a while, and the Blue Jays will have to go to their minor leagues and pick somebody else up. And in the meantime, Ernie Clement will come in and play shortstop in his stead. So Ernie Clement is going to come in and play short in place of the injured Bichette. So Clement is on, or he's not on, he's on. He's going to be playing shortstop, I should say. And here's Alejandro Kirk. So bad news for Bichette. He's going to be gone 10 games. All right. Baca now back to facing Alejandro Kirk. That's a 1-9, and that's a ground ball shortstop A, so that'll just freeze the runner there, 2 down. And Snyder, the batter. 6-9, right-handed. Fly ball to left field, and that's going to end the inning. So Wacha, 7 shutout innings from Michael Wacha. How about that? I think we're going to cap Wacha at 7. This is 2024, so very rarely you're going to see somebody pitch more than 7 innings. Now Kikuchi will come out for his 7th inning because he only gave up 1 single there. So here's Kyle Isbell. We are at the 7th inning stretch, but I'm just going to keep rolling on. I'm not going to stop. 5-8, and that's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Biggio. He's a 3E14. 3 to 16, he'll get to that, but that's a 17. That could be problems for the E14 second baseman. E14 second baseman, and that is a 17. E14, there's a 15, 16, and 18, but no 17. So how about that? Biggio escapes the error and makes the play, 1 away. Here's Dayron Blanco. That is a 6-7, and that's a fly ball to right. Springer hauls it in, 2 down, and here's Bobby Witt. That's a 3-5. Left-handed is a single for Bobby Witt, 2-out single. And he's going to be looking to run, needs a 2 through 6 to get the lead. Does not get it. He will hold. And here's Vinny Pasquantino. 3-6, lefty-lefty is a line out to third, and that's going to end the inning. And that will do it for Kikuchi as well. So we'll do the lines on both of these pitchers since they both are going to go 7 full innings. For Wacha, no runs, obviously. He walked 5 and struck out 7. And he gave up 1, 2, just 2 hits. These 2 hits, a hit to Bichette and a hit to Varsho, and that's it. Just 2 hits for Wacha over 7 innings. Kikuchi going to give up 3 runs. They were all earned in his 7 innings of work. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits I've got him for. And he walked 2 here. Those are the only 2 walks he had within the same inning. And he didn't strike out that many. He struck out only, I've got him for 3 strikeouts, and that's it. Struck out Garcia to end the 3rd and no strikeouts after that. So 3 strikeouts for him. And now Kansas City will need a new pitcher. That's a good one, Chuck. I like that one. All right. Let's see here for Kansas City. Who do they have that needs the work and who needs the rest? I don't want to overuse a reliever. I want to keep them pretty steady on their usage. So let's see. They have anybody that's pitched only 2 games in relief? They do. Zerpa and Stratton have only pitched 2 games in relief. Biggio, the lefty, followed by Kiner-Falefa and Springer. So we're looking at a lefty and then 2 righties. So we're going to go with Chris Stratton. Chris Stratton was 4-3 with a 5.55 ERA and 4 saves in the 2024 season. Chris Stratton. Stratton with a 0 hold, and he ends up being a -2. So on the replay, Stratton has pitched 2 games, 2 innings, given up 1 hit, no runs, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout. Of course, the ERA of 0. No wins, no losses, no saves. Kevin Biggio, not Kevin. Kevin Biggio will lead things off against Stratton. 3-6 for Biggio, and he's going to strike out. 1 away, and that sends us to Kiner-Falefa, top of the order. And for you, Chuck, this could be Kevin Biggio killed the radio star. All right, here's Kiner-Falefa. 6-3, and that is a ballpark single check. It's 1-19, pretty much guaranteed. So Kiner-Falefa gets a base hit. He'll be held, but he won't go anywhere. Here's George Springer. As a 1-5 for Springer, he's going to strike out. Second strikeout for Stratton. 2 down for Varsho. And now the Royals will go to the bullpen. He's faced his 3 batters. So all you got to do is face the minimum of 3 batters. And he's accomplished that. And they will turn it over to lefty Angel Zerpa with the lefty Varsho coming up. So they will turn to Zerpa, the left-hander. Stratton goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up a hit, strikes out 2. But the runner on base is his responsibility. Zerpa 2-0, 3.86 ERA, no saves in 54 innings of pitching. So Zerpa, the left-hander, going to be facing Varsho for Toronto. Runner at first. And let's see, Zerpa is a -1, so that makes back to a -3. So Zerpa to Varsho. And Zerpa on the replay is 0-1 in his 2 games. He did take a loss in one of those games, but his ERA is 0. He gave up an unearned run. 1 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, which was not earned, no walks and a strikeout. So see what we can do here, lefty on lefty. That's a 1-5, and it's a ground ball to second, and that will end the inning. So Zerpa does what he needed to do, pitches a 1/3 of an inning. And the 3-batter rule does not carry over to the next inning, so you can change pitchers after that. That's the way to work around the 3-batter rule. And they'll bring in their closer, whoever that is, in the 9th. Right now, Toronto needs a new pitcher for the bottom of the 8th. Let's see who Toronto wants to go to. Coming up for Kansas City, it's going to be Perez, Hampson, and Garcia, all right-handers, but they do have lefties on the bench to pinch hit. And for Toronto, looks like everybody. Nope, Swanson is the guy that needs to get a little bit of work in. So Eric Swanson will be on in back of Kikuchi. Eric Swanson, he is a -1, which makes him a -3. So Swanson on the replay is 0-0 with a 2.45 earned run average. 2 games, 3 2/3 innings, 2 hits, a run, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. That one was a result of a home run he allowed. And Salvador Perez. I was looking ahead to Toronto. Salvador Perez will lead off against Swanson. 1-6. That's a leadoff walk. Not what you want if you're Swanson. Perez, not much of a runner, but he's such a good catcher, you're not going to pinch run for him. Hampson is your batter. He's actually a B bunter, so we're going to try a bunt. I know we don't get to do that much, particularly in the 2024 season, but we're going to do it right now. Corners are in, so actually, nope, we're going to do the other rule here. Corners are not in, so he stays as a B bunter. B bunter. First of all, roll havoc, make sure nothing's happening. It's not. The white die says the bunt's going to go to third, so it's going to be fielded by Kaina Falefa. He's a B bunter, so he basically needs a 9 or less. That's a 5, so that's a good sacrifice. And had the corners been in, it would have still been a good sacrifice because a C bunter with a 5 still would have been a good sacrifice. So it's going to go to Kaina Falefa, so it's a sacrifice hit 5-4. And going to second base is Perez. So he's at second base with 1 out for Michael Garcia. Michael Garcia, that's a 1, chance of a wild pitch, but his wild pitch rating is a 0. So we keep it moving. 6-9. Oh, got to check for an injury. Swanson, see if his injury comes up as a 6-9. He's got to be in the extra pitchers. Swanson, no, maybe he's on the actual Kansas City or Toronto team. Let's see here. He is. It's a 2. So with a 2, that means a 6-11 is the injury, not 6-9. So he's okay there. 6-9 might not be okay here, though. It's a ballpark blast. It's 1-7, but that's an 11. So it's just a deep fly to left. And that'll be out number 2. So he escapes trouble there. And now Yuli Gurriel, the batter, in a clutch situation with 2 outs. In the clutch, Gurriel will gain a hit on 2-5. Everywhere else, he's neutral. That's a 3-5. Missed it by 1, but he's still going to get a big hit. 3-5 is a 1-13 double. That's a 3. It's a double, and that will produce the run. So the sacrifice bunt, by putting the runner in scoring position, that double 2 stars will score the run. And now it takes the save situation out of the game because they have a 4-run lead now. So they'll bring in somebody to mop up. It won't be a save situation. So here's MJ Melendez. That's a 1-4, and he's going to fly to left to end the inning. So Swanson's going to go 1 inning, a walk, a run, which was earned, and a hit. So 4-0, we go to the top of the 9th. And let's see who Kansas City will bring in to pitch. They won't use their closer because it's not a save situation anymore because of that run. And let's see, I'm not even sure if the closer was supposed to. James MacArthur had 18 saves, so I'm assuming he was their closer. It's going to be Guerrero, Turner, and Clement for the injured Bichette, all right-handed hitters. So we're going to go to the Kansas City bullpen and see who. Is there anybody? I think everybody else has had at least 3 appearances, so we'll see who's got the fewer innings. Let's see here. Everybody's got 4 innings. Boy, tough call here. Schreiber. We'll go with Schreiber. John Schreiber. Schreiber in 2024, 4-3, 3.66 ERA, and 2 saves. Of course, it is not a save situation at the moment because of the 4-run lead. So he's a -1, goes with the -2 there for a -3. So it's going to be Guerrero, Turner, and Clement. And if they want to actually, not going to be Turner, it's going to be Kiermaier because Turner got pinch run for. So it's actually going to be Guerrero, Kiermaier, and Clement. My bad. Vladimir Guerrero, Kiermaier, and Clement. So we'll get to Kiermaier's numbers when his time comes up. All right, here's Guerrero. It's a 2-7, and he's going to ground it to short. That's out number 1. 1 down for Kiermaier. On the replay, Kiermaier is hitting .300. He's 3 out of 10. No homers or a run driven in. 2-7, and he will ground to second. That's 2 outs. So Schreiber, we're ready to go 1-2-3 here. Here's Clement. He came in for the injured Bichette, his first at bat now. And Clement is hitting .174. He's 4 out of 23. A homer and 3 driven in. It's a 2-5, and that's a base hit for Clement. That will keep the game going and take us to Alejandro Kirk, the catcher. Kirk is 0 for 3. That's a 1. Possible wild pitch on Schreiber, which is a 3. And that's a wild pitch. So he's going to wild pitch him to second base. Of course, his run doesn't really mean anything. So Kirk steps in. That's a 2. Chance for a balk or pass ball. Now we're looking at a balk chance, but his balk rating is 0. So here comes the pitch to Kirk. 2-11, and that's a ballpark single check. It's 1-19. That's a 10. Base hit's going to put runners at the corners, and all of a sudden now the tying run is at the plate. Tying run is at the plate, and that's going to be all for Schreiber. It's a save situation now, so they will. Actually, the tying run's on deck, so that means it is a save situation. So we're going to move it over now to MacArthur. He will come in. Schreiber goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up 2 hits. He's responsible for both runners on base. But now Davis Schneider will be facing James MacArthur. MacArthur on the 2024 season, 5-7, 4.92 ERA, and 18 saves. On the replay, MacArthur. Let's get to MacArthur's numbers. Go back to Kansas City. MacArthur on the replay is, where are you, MacArthur? There he is. 0-0 with 1 save, a 2.25 ERA, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 run, no walks, 3 strikeouts. So Davis Schneider is your batter. Schneider is 0 for 3, but he's getting called back, I do believe. I do believe that Toronto is going to the bench, and they're going to go to Dan Vogelbach. Pinch hit, because he's got the threat of a home run in that column 3. So they're going for broke right here. Dan Vogelbach. Pinch hit here in the 9th for Snyder. So Vogelbach will get his numbers on his replay for Toronto. Vogelbach is hitless. He's 0 for 6 on the replay. Looking for his first hit. If he gets a long ball, he rolls a 3-12 or a 3-10. We got a chance to tie game here. Runners at the corners. Nobody's being held. And MacArthur to Vogelbach. 3-8. He just missed it. Boy, 3-10 came close. 3-8's a ground ball to short, and there's your ball game. In case you were curious, Davis Schneider on a 3-8 would have walked, but doesn't mean, I might have rolled something different had I not maneuvered the cards that way. The old butterfly effect, as they say. So MacArthur gets the save, his second of the season. Waka with the win goes to 1-0. Kikuchi, the loser, he drops to 1-1. And Kansas City improves to 5-3. Toronto drops to 4-4. Kansas City has won the first 2 games of the series. They won game 1 that was played previously. They won that 8-2, and they won this one 4-0. As a matter of fact, Toronto scored 2 runs in the first inning of that game. So now Toronto is gone 17 innings scoreless in this series. They've gone 17 innings scoreless. 4-0 Kansas City. For Kansas City, 4 runs, 8 hits. And for Toronto, no runs on 5 hits. The errors, there was an error E6 here on Toronto. I don't think there was an error on Kansas City. There was not. So there's your final line score. 4-8-0 for Kansas City. 0-5-1 for Toronto. To add injury to the insult, Dante Bichette will be out for 10 games. So that's a third of their, that's a 20% of their season basically, because it's a 54-game season. So it's just about 20%. He'll be out. So Toronto will have to go to the minor leagues and find somebody to fill that void, and have to be ready for shortstop because they want a shortstop. The only shortstop they have on the roster right now, I believe, is they got Kiner Falefa. He can play short, but I think other than that, it's Clement. because Biggio's not rated for short. So it's Clement and Kiner-Falefa. They only have 2 shortstops. So it would behoove them to draft, or not draft, but to bring up a guy who can play shortstop, utility guy of some sort, to add to their roster. Because they were already 1 short into this game. Now they're 2 short. So I'll make 2 moves. I got to make 2 moves to get them back to the 25-man roster. So when they play Kansas City in the 3rd game of the series, they at least have a full roster. So, yeah, write it down. Hey, ID, if you missed it a couple games ago, I actually did a hit and run too. So that was in the 87 replay in the morning. So it's hard to do that stuff with this set here because most of the players are rated D for hit and run and bunts. But at least in 87, you got A and B bunters and A and B hit and run guys. So you kind of have to follow what is going on, with the ratings and whatnot. So anyway, tomorrow night, don't forget, Game 1, 1978 World Series, the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees on season ticket baseball. It'll be Ed Figueroa against Tommy John. Ed Figueroa and Tommy John are your pitching matchups. That's going to be roughly between 8:30 and 9. I'm not sure whenever I get around to it, but I'm going to aim for 8:30, but knowing me, it'll probably be 9 because life gets in the way sometimes. Even when you're retired, life gets in the way. So don't always get up here when I can. Depends on what Tabby's got going on, and I've got to deal with her or the missus, the boss, the main boss, what's going on there. So I have to come up when I can. All right, so thank you all for spending part of your time with me on this Monday night. I know there's baseball playoffs going on. It's hard to compete with baseball playoffs, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You don't have much choice. So that's going to do it from here. Tomorrow morning, we'll be in Chicago at Comiskey Park. 1987 AL replay continues, and it will be Kansas City Royals' Danny Jackson on the mound for Kansas City against Bill Long of the White Sox. That will be tomorrow morning at roughly 9 a.m. And then tomorrow night, of course, will be Game 1 of the season ticket World Series. So the Demolition League, what I plan to do with the Demolition League, since I'm going to be playing the World Series, is I'm going to record some of these games during the afternoon and just post them at some point or another. I'm not going to do them live, I don't think, but I'll post them. And by doing recordings, maybe I can go through some more of the injury rolls and arrest rolls and things like that. And then that way I'm not trying to, it's not, because at night I can only do one game at a time. So if I'm doing the World Series, then obviously I can't do this one. So, but I don't want to, go like a week without playing this again. So I've already stepped away from it for a little bit already, and I don't want to do that going forward. So keep it going. All right. So the next game in this Demolition League replay, each team now has played 8 games in the season, except for the Dodgers and Yankees. They played 9 games. So like I said, I went out of order one day, just made a mistake and went out of order. So now we're looking at Game 42, and we'll look at the schedule. It's going to be the Game 3 of all the series. So series block 3, Game 3. That will get everybody to 9 games. So if we look at that on the schedule, the next one scheduled is Oakland at Miami. Boy, that's a classic. So Oakland will be at Miami. That'll be the next game in the Demolition League. I'll probably play it either tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll probably play it tomorrow, maybe upload it on Wednesday. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but it's Oakland at Miami. That will be Game 42 from, I guess it's called Home Lone Depot Park or something like that. I don't know what they call Miami's park anymore. But, yeah, thank you, everybody, for chiming in. And ID, your ears must have been burning because I was talking about you earlier on when Dave Little was there, talking about the nice videos you guys did on Stratomatic with your takes back and forth, which were well done all the way around. All three videos very well done. Enjoy them very much. In fact, I've watched them a couple times just to get in the mood for Stratomatic and just to think about Stratomatic. I'll put those on because they're so well done. I encourage everybody to watch them. And if you want to watch my good, bad, and ugly Stratomatic review, you can look at that too and see what I think about Stratomatic. I'll tell you everything you need to know about Stratomatic as far as what I think about it, the good, bad, and the ugly. And that way you'll know where I'm coming from in relation to Stratomatic, the game itself, and the game company, and the PC. So not just cards and dice. All right, that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great Monday evening, what's left of it before bedtime. Hope you have a great day tomorrow. Hope the weather's nice wherever you are. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. Kansas City shuts out Toronto 4-0.